Hello and welcome to part 2 of how to make your own Spartan helmet out of EVA foam. In this video I'll show you some tips and tricks to make your Spartan helmet look even more realistic. This first clip shows how I added the hammered detail all around the trim of the helmet with only a heat gun and a special screwdriver. Just heat up the foam and push gently with it to make an impression about every 1/4 inch along the inside of the trim. I'm using a T15 type of screwdriver as shown here for this effect. And there you have it, a great detail to add more interest to your Spartan helmet. And here is a look at that same technique on the helmet itself. Next I'll show you how I made the metal inlays that we saw in part 1. I cut off the rim of the pie plate and rubbed the head of a hammer over it while on a hard surface to make it good and flat. Using the pattern page as a reference, I transferred the information to the tin sheet while using a compass. Now I'm using a push pin to hold the pattern on center while I tape it in place. I'll be using some wooden sticks that I sanded into smooth round shapes to do more of the engraving from the pattern. A soft cardboard surface under the tin works best for this step. I should mention that you don't need too much pressure to make an engraving mark, and it's best to go slow and easy so you don't break through the tin. Continue until you have transferred most of the detail from the paper pattern. Then you can remove the paper and work on the inlay from both the inside and outside surfaces until you're satisfied. Now cut the inlay from the tin sheet with a pair of scissors. Fill the back side of the inlay with hot glue, then use the heat gun to ensure it fills all of the gaps properly. This step will make the inlay more durable while working with it later. Here are some photos to show the inlays in place on the helmet. This crude looking tool is what I use to give the helmet that real hammered brass look. I used some epoxy to glue different sizes of these fishing jig heads to the end of a wooden handle. I'm heating up the end of the tool and pressing it into the foam while overlapping and rotating it so I don't see any kind of repetitive pattern. Seal and finish the foam after this technique to see the great results. Here is a photo to show what it looks like on the helmet. This is an alternative method to use while making the sun ray effect on the crest of the helmet. I'm only scoring the foam about halfway deep and making sure to keep the cuts as uniform as possible. Next, I use a heat gun to open the pores on the foam and watch as it creates a very interesting pattern. Now you have another option to use when working on the crest rays. I hope you have enjoyed this 2-part tutorial on how to make your own Spartan helmet with EVA foam. Check out the description below for more information on how to purchase this pattern and for information on some of the products I've used in this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Craft Studio tutorial.